The University of Wisconsin-Madison is continually ranked as one of the top universities in the nation and around the world. Here at UW-Madison, we have world-class athletics, which are steeped in tradition dating back to the university's founding. We have groundbreaking research happening every day here on campus. Our library system is one of the largest in North America. It's no wonder we have a library system as large as we do to support and aid all the achievements that are happening here on campus. A library system this large must be experts in curating analog texts, but in today's digital age, how are they incorporating new technologies to better aid their patrons and preserve knowledge for the future? To help me discover the answers to this question, I've called in 4 experts from around campus to help me figure out how the general library system is adapting to continually be relevant for generations to come.
My name is Todd Michelson-Ambelang, and I am a bibliographer at Memorial Library.
My name is Eric Hoyt. I'm an assistant professor in the Communication Arts Department.
My name is Lee Konrad, and I am the Associate University Librarian here.
My name is Ed Van Gemert, and I'm the Vice Provost for Libraries and University Librarian here at Wisconsin. So the general library system is comprised of 16 libraries, and then in addition to that, our professional libraries, engineering, law, medicine, and education, report separately to their respective deans. And then the third component is that we've got a number, quite a few, of what we call special campus libraries that serve departmental needs.
It's important to define the digital technologies and mediums the library system is incorporating into their collections. These can be digital texts themselves, such as ebooks, PDFs, and electronic journals, or they can be the digital technologies behind the electronic text, such as a digital library catalog, the ability to make digital text searchable through search engines and compiling that data into its own digital library. The first digital aid the library started incorporating and developing was to convert their card catalog to a searchable digital database.
In the 1980s, in fact even kind of the late 70s, we started to poke our head into electronic catalogs.
The first online catalog of MadCat that you mentioned, which is this institution's library catalog, went online in 1983. And those were strictly records, so descriptions of what we have. If you have ever seen the old physical card catalogs, it's a conversion of that. We have millions of volumes of material, and so that has been a very long process.
The library system is also incorporating their own collection online by digitizing some portions of the collection and creating the UW-Madison digital collections.
The digital collections here go back to right around 2000. And our collections is really quite rare that don't stand up to being handled well, or that we're looking to preserve over time. That it's a costly kind of business to be in.
The general library system is not only digitizing text for their own benefit. They did digitizing as part of the Google Books project and have digitized many of their volumes as part of the Hoyt Trust, a collaborative effort between many research institutions.
We've digitized close to 600,000 volumes with Google, and all of that content is available in one form or another, either full text or, as I mentioned, in snippet form through what we call the Hoyt Trust, which is a digital repository, which is another piece of digital technology. So think collaboration at scale. We couldn't afford to do it on our own. We just couldn't afford the scale of digital opportunities if we had to pay for it ourselves.
UW-Madison is making its digitized materials available through many outlets such as UW Digital Collections, which is available for free to anyone in the world with an internet connection. They are also making their collections available through collaborative projects such as the Hoyt Trust and Digital Public Library of America. DPLA is, in simple terms, a search engine where you can search many different libraries' digital collections from one website. This digital library is composed of collections from many different libraries.
What they do is they have data sets from digital libraries all over the country. So we have a digital library here which has millions of items in it. That is material from our archives, our special collections, and so forth. Scans and audio files and the digital media assets. Those are actually stored here. The records are what DPLA will take, but they take those records from a great many digital libraries, and they kind of aggregate them, and then when people are searching, you're searching a range of digital libraries.
Over the past 10 years, the library system has started purchasing more and more electronic texts to aid its students and faculty. These texts come in the form of ebooks, PDFs, and subscriptions to online journals. The library tries to outright purchase most of its digital texts so it owns them completely.
Most of the material that we purchase electronically is stuff that we have perpetual rights to.
But many journals are only accessible through subscription alone.
There are some materials that we use truly as a subscription basis. Certain kinds of materials just don't have a very long shelf life.
Around campus, there are faculty members working on projects in collaboration with the library system.
I co-direct a project called the Media History Digital Library, which is a collaborative effort to scan periodicals and books related to the history of film, broadcasting, and recorded sound. And we've scanned close to 2 million pages at this point.
How much these technologies cost is really all over the place.
It depends. It really does depend. And sometimes it's very reasonable. Sometimes it's kind of like 3 times the cost, but anybody can check it out. And if that's the case, then it's the same thing as buying 3 copies of a book.
In other places, the cost of an electronic text or subscription is much greater than purchasing the analog text.
Wisconsin has about a $12 million a year acquisitions budget. Today we're way over in terms of leaning in or a balance on the digital side.
There are also the costs of technologies behind the scenes.
People do not understand that they're working with licensed content and that the library expended a lot of money to be able to provide that content.
But digital technologies can also save the university money in other parts.
We also save in the sense of we're taking up less physical space and we're managing fewer facilities. There's less handling of the material. So we don't have to check it out to you, we don't have to reshelve it, we don't have to. So there's a lot of upsides. So while the technologies are expensive, there are savings on the other side.
As mentioned before, digital texts and technologies come with a lot more red tape than analog texts. Put simply, when the library bought a book, they can loan that book to anyone. They own the copy of that physical book. With digital texts, questions are raised of who can access the text and when or how many can use said text. U.S. copyright law also restricts what text can be digitized by libraries and made available to patrons.
The stuff that we do is stuff that is already in the public domain. We have to pay very close attention to copyright restrictions and things along those lines.
Talking about the policies and copyrights that govern digital text raises the question, do these new mediums help make text more available to patrons? The answer is yes. Overall, digital texts have made it possible for UW students and staff all over the globe to access information from our libraries. Unfortunately, the content cannot always be available online to the general public. To access the content, you have to be affiliated with the university. There are areas where access is available to everyone. The UW Digital Collections and its repertoire of publicly held materials bring access to more individuals across the globe than before, when people would have had to travel to Madison to view texts.
We have over 15 million uses of the University of Wisconsin Digital Collection per year. So if you just look at the numbers, the usage of printed material compared to the usage of our digital collections, the differences are staggering.
Our library system is one of the few university libraries where anyone can walk in and use the materials, physical and digital, while in the library.
So if you walk in, literally, physically, walk into any one of our campus libraries, you can use one of our computer terminals to get access to any of this licensed content. Most institutions, if you go to the University of Texas, if you go to the University of California system, University of Minnesota, wherever, you have to use your student ID, your net ID, to be able to get access to the content. We don't require that here at Wisconsin.
Our libraries are proud to provide walk-in access because it works as part of the Wisconsin idea as a tool to help the spread of knowledge by making collections available to anyone who is seeking. While there is still a lot to be figured out when it comes to digital texts and technologies, such as who can access them, our library system will keep pushing the envelope for the betterment of its collections and patrons. The one certainty is that collaboration between universities and other libraries will be needed to keep improving digital collections. There is no way one library can achieve a great digital library alone. It takes collaboration of funds, technologies, and collections to create a great digital library. Our libraries have been innovators in collaborating with other libraries.
I would say that there's very little that's happening in the library world that we aren't engaged in very early on. It doesn't mean there aren't institutions ahead of us on a given area but we try to collaborate with our peers who are really working to advance, library services.
With the forward-thinking ideas of our library system, it can be safe to assume that the University of Wisconsin-Madison will have a bright future in conjunction with its library system. In the collaborative style we've talked about, we are boundless together.